Okay, welcome back to another episode of the Day After podcast, and this is a special one for you.
What's up, guys? Yeah, it is the draft pick for our 10th All-Stars Brant Steele. We've had so many different like little seasons and stuff, and this is the 10th All-Stars. Not like our specials where we've had like best of the best or winners at war stuff, but like this is our 10th like All-Star 10. And as you can see, we both dressed up for the occasion. The typical t-shirt blazer combination.
Exactly. You see it at every E3 when they're announcing video games. I feel every person on that always rocks the t-shirt blazer look.
Exactly. It's
Specifically
a good look.
with jeans. Jeans is usually there too.
I
don't
mean, I'm
have
wearing
jeans
black
right
jeans, but I think that kind of counts.
now.
I don't know. I don't know fashion, guys. That's why I stick to flannels and graphic tees.
Yeah. Okay, well, yeah, we got a big one here. We're not just doing a typical 5-5 draft. We're actually going to be doing Australian Survivor. So that means both of us get to draft 6 guys and 6 girls each. And I think it was kind of neat because I think there's a pretty good selection this time.
Yeah, there is. Like, I'm not going to show you my list, but like for both guys and girls, like each, I have a cast of 20 technically in my hand. So like even if we share at least 3 or 4 of the same people, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm in the same. I have 9 guys and 9 girls each that I picked. So I basically have it so I have like my top 6 of each guys and girls, and I have alternates that will be kind of like I'll pick depending on who's been taken.
Yeah. So this will be good. I'm excited to see. I feel like there are some like guaranteed ones, but we will get there. All right, who's going first this time?
That's a good question. I should have brought up the wheel because
all right, because for our Survivor 42 draft pick, I know I'm going first because Erica was on my side for that. How about you go first on this one?
Okay, I'll go first. Okay, then I'm gonna start over here with the guys. And I'm gonna go with Chris Dougherty.
Nice.
Yeah,
solid
winner.
Choice.
Yeah, played a pretty solid season on our Wheel of Survivor, or our 50th, whichever one you want to call it. And remember, he was the last person that the wheel picked for the guys.
Yeah.
He literally barely got onto the cast, and then ends up, I'd say he dominated. He played a pretty strong game.
Yeah, it's kind of like fiction imitating life because it's very similar to his Vanuatu outing as well.
Exactly. So he's going to be my first.
Yeah, I'm glad he's doing good now. Because we brought him on a few times and he hasn't like wowed us, but like obviously if you get a win, you did something right.
Yeah, I will say there's some good winners this season, in my opinion.
Yeah, I got a few. All right, but first up, this person was not a winner. I was a little disappointed he didn't win. I mean, the person that won, still great.
Yeah, but I know who you're picking.
Yeah. Jo Sung-woo from our not death battle, for our death game Survivor. He did a great thing. It was just that Nagito was just he was like, I wouldn't say slightly better, good by like a little bit in almost every single thing that made him superior.
Yeah, it was definitely a close one. I think it really was just, I think Nagito had more on his resume to say for that final tribal, which gave him that couple extra votes that leaned towards him. But yeah, I mean, Song-woo plays a very, very good game here as well. I definitely think he is a potential winner candidate on this season. I think he's great.
It's tough. It's also, not only is it like Survivor, it's Australian Survivor, which is a lot more brutal. And so many favorites go home like pre-merge in that because it's tough. It's long. Yeah, you have to clear your calendar for the day when you do it.
Yeah, it's a
You
big
know,
one. It usually goes 2 hours.
exactly. So yeah. So we'll see how he fares. We'll see how he fares.
Exactly. Okay, next up for the girls, I am going to pick someone who I bet you probably had on your list.
Number
And
one on my list. So already
yeah, she's number one on my list, so it just worked out this way. But it's Tori Meehan from Survivor 42.
Yeah. Did well in the simulation and won. Don't worry, I'll get her. It's funny, because before we recorded this, just because for those of you at home, I just finished watching all the Marvel stuff that was on Netflix before they take it off. So like that ate up all my free time. But since I finished that, I was looking at all the like Entertainment Weekly stuff, and I was looking at her stuff, and yeah, just impressed by her. She seems like she has a lot of potential in that. And our prediction video, hopefully, I would like her to win very much. I think she has a lot of potential.
I wouldn't say I don't think she's going to win, but I think she is going to definitely take up screen time for as much as she's in. I think she's definitely going to be a focal point during that time. But yeah, remember also in our brand steal, she should have been voted out first. She yeah, she did get the votes, but luckily she was able to get the super idol for that day one or the day 3, whatever, tribal, and saved herself. So first boot went on to win in a way.
Yeah. There's we'll get all into our into that when we do our draft pick for our fantasy Survivor 42 teams. But yeah, I'm glad Tori's here, and hopefully, she becomes a mainstay on our channel in more ways than one. As in, like, we talk about her in 42 a lot, and that we have her in our Brant Steele roundup, kind of like Danny McRae.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So my first girl, I vouch for her so much. This is her second outing in an All-Star. We have Toshiko Kishida, who was in our one for the history books and came back for All-Stars. She did great both times, kind of like a low-key game. I feel like her All-Star outing was a little bit better this time around. It was just like, you never know with an All-Star, and plus she was up against Junko, and Junko was playing a superior game. And like
Junko kind of dominated the season socially and strategically, so yeah, it was kind of unfortunate that she didn't get a chance to take out Junko before that. But yeah, I mean, she's made it to the end both times, I believe, right?
She was either, I think she did, because Anne got like
Anne has always gotten Final Four, I believe.
Yeah, because she got medevaced in one for the history books.
Yeah.
So, she's been in the mix. Like right now, I'm trying to think of someone that's made it to Final 3 twice. She's kind of like our Amanda right now.
Yeah. Yeah, or potentially our future Parvati, because remember, Parvati went a very long time of always making it to the final tribal.
But she won her first time. If we're talking about, like, I was talking about actual Survivor, where Amanda came in, in 15 and 16 as like a runner-up.
Made
it to day 39. But we'll see. If I'm comparing her game, she might be, 8 or 9, or who knows, Australian Survivor. But yeah, I'm hoping for good things for her.
Nice. Cool. Toshiko is joining All Stars 10. Okay, my next pick, the next guy who will be joining my team, we've already kind of talked about him, but I'm bringing Nagito.
Naturally.
Yeah, I think we got to see Nagito and Songwoo go at it again, honestly.
Yeah, great winner. great winner. He was one of the people when you told me about him, I'm like, ooh, this guy's going to be fun. So yeah, he's going to bring that energy back. And yeah, so we have kind of a rivalry because I think Sungwoo is one to, if you watch Squid Games, he's not one to kind of like let that go in a sense.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I definitely hope that they get a clash at some point. But yeah, Ultimate Lucky Students ended up being the true Ultimate Lucky Student by winning.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. He's going to need it in Australian Survivor. So yeah. All right, next up for a student, I would say he's a bit more unlucky. We have from Fantasy Island 2, or was it 3?
3.
3. We have JD from Heathers, and made it pretty far in the game, made it to the finale. Kind of did a better version of what Cole Sprouse did back when we did our very first Celebrity Survivor, way back in the early days of our Brant Steele verse.
Yeah, it's weird looking back at that time. Those were our early old school players.
I know. So I feel like he does like a better version of that. So we will. I will say I'm not like totally invested in him, but I think he's an interesting person to bring, and I think he's definitely. I definitely think he is a contender.
Nice. Yeah, I thought he was definitely a great player on the season. So I'm excited to see JD come back.
Yeah.
Okay. It looks like I picked 3 winners so far of our Brand Steel, so I'm going to pick a non-winner now.
All right.
I'm going to pick Catherine the Great.
Solid.
Yeah, she found 3 idols on her season. And was able to play them pretty successfully. It got to the point though where she just became a very obvious target that she has to go home. Otherwise, she had a Mike Holloway or Ben Drevergen her way to the end, and she just couldn't do it. So hopefully she can still have that fun finding idols and everything, but play a little more under the radar.
Yeah, she has time. I can't stress enough how brutal Australian Survivor is. Like, it is definitely it's not for the faint-hearted. So we'll see if Catherine will be great at that.
Exactly.
All right, next up we have from Fantasy Island 3. We have someone that I think it's funny. You have chosen people that have won. I've been choosing people that have just barely made it. And that trend is kind of continuing with Amanda Waller. Played a good game, a respectful game. But just she had stiff competition. And so what you gonna do?
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but I think she definitely played a great game as well, managing to kind of make it to the end in a pretty good position where I think she could have probably gotten to the end with a few different people, and they would have.
Yeah, I mean, it was just that Draken was there and made it tough for him, or made it tough to actually win as a result.
Yeah, exactly. Draken played a great game. It's another one of these cases, like, there's some great winners, I think, this season, but they get to the end with another great winner or two, or like not winner, but someone who could have been a winner. And so I definitely think that there's some great players that make it to the end games of these seasons.
I know who my next pick is going to be after you go, because it's following that theme, and you know. Yeah. You probably know who I'm talking about.
Okay. Let's see. So you just picked Waller. So I picking the guy next. I'm going to pick from All Stars 9, Blackbeard
Nice.
coming back in. yet again, this is now a bit on your trend. Someone who was very close to winning the season. He makes it to the end, but up against Junko, who just played a really great game and couldn't really do much about it. So, but he's made it pretty far both times that he's been out there. So I definitely want to see if he can keep it going.
Yeah, and he's a big personality. He has some charm to him, so there's he does have that going. Yeah, we'll see if he's going to be in his element here. All right, next up, continuing the runner-up or so close theme. I was really hoping to get Tori Meehan because I really wanted the Meehan Tommy Sheehan alliance. The Meehan Sheehan alliance. So yes,
it can
Tommy
still
Sheehan
happen.
Like, even after rewatching 39 and being like, yeah, I felt Dean was a little bit more deserving, but like I really enjoyed, his, one, I like that I got the winner pick, and two, he was, I like his like sleeper threat mentality, and he does well in our brand steals except for one. And so, like, since he's been back and he came the furthest he's ever gone, this could be the one. This could be the saving grace where it's like, yes, I finally win.
Yeah, it'll be crazy if he can do it here on Australian Survivor. It's definitely a tall order, but I'm excited. I think he's been one of the best players here on our brand steal, so I'm excited to see him come back.
Agreed.
Okay. My next pick, we're going back to the winner well, and I'm picking Junko Enoshima. We've talked about her. Let's just get her off the table.
Yeah. I mean, understandable. Actually, she did good both times. It was just like, obviously, clearly she won. So.
Yeah. Well, one season she played kind of like Catherine the Great, where her threat level just got too big that she had to get taken out. And then the other time she played how I think Catherine should play this time and still play like that, but just a little more safer and not let yourself be as exposed. And so Junko, another great winner, winning an All-Star season is always a good one to be a winner of. So,
of course, I mean, obviously, winning an All-Star, since you've all had peeps that played before, it says something.
Exactly.
All right. Next up, also from Australia, from All Stars 9, this person is not a runner-up. This is a little bit of a change, and I think we'll see more of that. We have Shoko Komi.
Interesting. She was one of my alternates.
One thing is, I've been seeing ever since you mentioned her, it's like that statistic when you learn a new word, you start seeing it, you're bound to see it again and 3 times within like 2 days afterwards. And so since then, I've seen like a meme, I saw it as a Netflix recommendation, all that stuff. So I'm like, she's prominent in my brain. She's a character I think is interesting, and eventually I'll watch this anime. So like that, and she did all right in All Stars. So I'm like, all right, come back.
Yeah, interesting. I'm glad you picked her. Hopefully, you don't end up picking a bunch of my girl selections because she was definitely one of my alternates. But I'm glad she's. What?
I feel like there's 2, maybe 3. I know one. We'll see. I feel like I know one pick is safe, maybe 2, safe. But we'll see.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. But Komi plays a game where she's kind of targeted pretty early on and kind of keeps surviving a little bit. Has a nice little run. But we'll see if she can keep the run going or she can learn to play a little more reserved or like not as out in the open. She has a lot of anxiety, but somehow she got thrown into being into everything. So
we'll see how she does. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. All right.
Okay. My next guy, I am going to pick from Survivor 42, Hai Jiang.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. Very much known for his rivalry with Lydia on the season, which honestly is like the storyline all the way up until Hai goes home, which is Final
Yeah.
Nine. So that's definitely a big storyline for a rivalry to keep going.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I think if he managed to take out Lydia instead, I think he has a better chance to honestly get to the end. I think that he probably would have taken the place of Lydia in this world. But so yeah, I'm hoping that you pick Lydia, or you're going to pick Lydia. That's
I
in my
am.
hope.
As long as you don't pick her next, or
Yeah.
I
Don't worry, she's not even on my list.
she's actually the next one, but we're going with a guy next. But I like Hai. Even watching the Entertainment Weekly stuff, I'm like, he I was like, ooh, he seems pretty interesting. So we'll see how he does here on Australian Survivor.
Exactly.
All right, next up we have from Fantasy Island 3, Heroes versus Villains. This is a guy, and I've been rewatching Seinfeld. So Wayne Knight's a big character in our household, and so I had to bring back Newman.
You had to.
I had to. Just love Newman. He's funny, and like he made it far enough. He's good entertainment value, and he also is very different from a lot of other people I bring. So like to have him in the mix, it's always fun.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's really rooting for him to win, but it's really funny the further he makes it in the game.
Watch him win Australian Survivor.
I swear. He's gonna be in the same category as Snooki.
I was thinking that in my brain.
Yeah. Okay, well, Newman coming back. That's gonna be interesting. Okay, my next pick, I'm picking someone who had a pretty similar path as well, with the Catherine the Great being a pretty big threat, who ends up having to get taken out, and that is Victoria Baman from the Wheel of Survivor season. And yeah, she played some idols on herself on I believe an ally. She played once and then she wins like a couple immunities. Like she just kind of kept somehow not being able to go home for a long period.
Yeah, and I will say, out of all the time she played, definitely her best outing.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. Also, being our first cameo on the channel, also
it helps.
Exactly.
She's got a special place here in the Day After podcast.
Precisely. So for me, next up, I already said who it was going to be. From Survivor 42 prediction, we have Lydia Meredith. She's one where it really, really depends. I want her to do well in Survivor 42, but I feel like it's kind of like she's one of the high risk, high reward. Yeah. If anything, if it's like a precursor to like what 41 was, where a lot of big people were getting targeted early and it was like, guns blazing on them, she has a better shot of, I wouldn't say playing a similar game to Erica, but kind of like being in that kind of like underestimated category. And it's funny, we'll talk more about her next week, but just kind of like, for whatever reason, surviving so many votes, beating out Hai in this rivalry, and then just like, kind of like coasting by, not getting kind of like the gonging that was kind of happening in the 42, and making it pretty far.
And don't forget how much reward she got to go on. She went on all the rewards pretty much. I think there's only like one or two in the whole season she missed.
I know, it was it's always funny when that happens. Puts a huge target on your back in Survivor, but
exactly.
Who knows how much the AI on our brand steals actually weighs that. I feel like the only thing it really weighs is whether or not I like the person or not.
It has a Ryan gauge, and it can just tell.
It has a Ryan program, and there was like, what will tick Ryan off more. Okay, we need to ease up. We'll get rid of Danny Bro right before the merge. It happens like that.
Nice. Well, Lydia is coming back. We'll see how she deals with Hai if they go at it again.
Yeah, it's possible.
Exactly. Okay, next up, I am going to pick another winner here. My tribe's got a lot of winners on them. And that is Draken Ryuguji.
Nice.
Yeah. Plays a pretty good game. It's mostly he ends up really winning because he's the last of the hero tribe to be able to make it to the end, and he kind of survives the Begongi in a Chris Doherty like fashion, where she should have been like next one to go, but he causes a rock draw to happen and manages to like inch himself into the end, where it was mostly hero jury and ends up taking it. So maybe not necessarily the cleanest game, but it was
I mean, he's a delinquent. Are you expecting a clean game?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I mean, it ends up working. Like he ends up winning a pretty competitive season overall. So
oh yeah, and also one of the best anime characters to come out of last year. So definitely deserves to come back.
Exactly.
All right, so next up, this might be a little bit of the theme. I made this list before I watched the Entertainment Weekly stuff, so don't think it was totally influenced by everything there. However, there was one moment that I'm going to see this guy, and it's all I'm going to think about until he does something even crazier. It was like, so the Entertainment Weekly, they have one video where it's like, the most embarrassing moment. And have you seen it yet?
I have not.
Well,
you can spoil it. I don't care.
Okay, basically, so he's a veterinarian, and there was something where he was supposed to check to see if a cow was pregnant. And without getting too graphic, it's a very hands-on procedure, not like checking stool or urine, like other things. And so I'm just gonna so learning that and then just imagining that scenario, as well as just like this was during a class and he didn't quite get it right the first time. Without getting too graphic, I was like wide-eyed, like if we were doing a reaction video, that might have been one of the most funniest. It was like one of the funniest reactions. Like I felt my face make the motion.
Yeah. I mean, I think this guy's going to be great television. So
he will. We'll talk more about that later. But being a very prominent figure in our 42 prediction, making a couple good moves. I really think he's another one where I'm like, hope he is mentioned a lot. He will be because of like him being shown getting an idol clue, or like finding the Beware idol. But I think he definitely deserves a spot on our Australian Survivor.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm excited. He was one of my alternates for my guy list. So he was like my number one. Like if you took anyone, he was definitely going to be on my list. So nice. Omar is here making another appearance here on our brand Steel.
Yeah.
Okay. Next up, I am going to pick let's go Anne Boleyn. I think she's had a bit of an unlucky end game her last few times out. Kind of just getting that fourth place, like just barely missing out on making it to make her case. One of them being medevaced, but that's not factoring into this decision necessarily. But we see her play pretty good games, but just can't close out the deal.
It's tough. Survivor's a tough game, guys. But maybe this could be the one. Our history, one for the history books, like granted there's only been one All-Stars, but like more often they do decent. Hell, like, we had a lot of those people come to the very end of All-Stars 9. Like hell, like both Toshiko, Blackbeard, and who's he? But both, yeah, I was right. Both Toshiko and Blackbeard also being from that season, like it's it goes without saying, like you see, that's why history is important, guys. You get schooled. That wasn't my best delivery of that joke, but YOLO.
Yeah, just keep going.
But yeah, I think she's a great pick.
Yeah, exactly. This time she's not going out there with a Henry. Henry went out very early in All-Stars 9, but he was at least there. But now she's definitely, out there on her own.
Yeah. We'll see. It does speak well for her this time.
Exactly.
All right, next up. Also for our Survivor 42 prediction video, we have Drea Wheeler, making it, obviously another runner-up, and she was responsible for some like moves as well. Like, I think there's a big case for her, and also watching her Entertainment Weekly stuff, I'm like, she's someone I can definitely get behind. But so yeah, she has earned her spot this time around.
She was my next pick.
Nice.
So
nice.
Yeah, that's a good one. Cool. Let's see. Who I want to pick next? Let's because this is the last guy selection here.
Yeah.
Now, can I ask you, are you planning on picking Finnick Odair?
I'm not, actually.
Then I'm going to pick Finnick Odair.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. He had a pretty good performance in his season, getting a lot of attention, and targeting Amanda Young and having this rivalry for a very long time that Amanda just had plot armor, so he had to go home instead of her.
Yeah, that is a that is a kind of a funny thing. That is their rivalry, and then like Amanda, who knows, she might have like that kind of similarity to Lydia Meredith in that regard.
Yeah.
So yeah, obviously I brought Finnick. He's my favorite, from the Hunger Games franchise. So I'm glad you chose him.
Yeah, exactly. Give him some more attention on here.
All right. So looking at my list, trying to think of, because I have like two different people I can choose between. One of them being Boston Rob, and the other being Kazuo Kiriyama from Battle Royale / Death Game.
Yeah, those are both good options. Boston Rob was one of my alternates that I was thinking of, but yeah, I think they're both good options.
I know. Do I have a coin? No one asks coins anymore.
Yeah, can we get the Wheel of Survivor up?
Okay. This is a very Ryan thing. I'm going to throw this in the air, and I'm going to catch the Pokeball. Now, if it's red, it's Boston Rob. If it's white, it's Kazuo. All right.
Oh yeah.
Boston Rob wins.
Boston Rob. I do have the wheel up if we want to do a wheel spin, so it's more legit.
I already did the thingy.
Yeah, I mean that was kind of a little pathetic there. But right. Only if you want to. You can't just draft Boston Rob.
Listen, I'm putting Boston Rob. I was like about a 50-50 split on each, and I was like, let's bring Rob back.
Boston Rob making his return.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think this is his first All-Star since All-Stars 4.
The iconic All Stars for.
Exactly.
I'm not here to kind of fuck up his game, so I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, nice pick there. Nice pick. Let's see. So now my final girl that I'm selecting here. Are you planning on picking Amanda Young for your last pick? And is that
No.
You aren't?
No. So
interesting.
Totally
okay, then I guess I'm picking Amanda Young because I thought for sure you're gonna pick her.
There was it was one I considered, but I was like, no, I think you were gonna get it. So I was like, yeah, he's probably gonna choose that.
Yeah, she was on my alternate list, like, but it was really just because I just figured you were gonna pick her. Like I wasn't sure yet.
All right. Well, I think especially now that she and Finnick are on the same team, more of that chaos, that story is going to continue.
Exactly. Yeah. So let's see if she has plot armor again, because she really should have gone home like in the pre-merge, at the merge, like basically everywhere up until she goes home at Final 5.
A lot. Like I don't know. It's like miraculous, but we'll see. I don't know. Survivor, Australian Survivor plot armor might not be enough.
Exactly.
All right. So my final girl, I'm kind of torn because it's kind of like, so it's between Cersei Lannister and Marge Simpson. Both mothers, but both very different kinds of mothers, and both played differently in Survivor. And I'd say the one thing that's kind of stopped me from, I would say, choosing Cersei is that she played a very similar game as Amanda Waller. So I think to kind of mix everything up and have a bit more variety in archetypes, I think I'm bringing back Marge Simpson.
Marge Simpson making a return.
Yeah.
Nice.
Also, I love The Simpsons. All right.
Awesome. We got it. We got our full cast here.
We did it. And I still have like 2 people on each side left.
Yeah, I have Chanel was going to be another person who I had ready as a backup in case he took any more of my females, and I also had Boo Burness, and Boo Burness.
Oh yeah, he was also alternate on mine.
Yeah, I had Boo and Rob. Those were my alternates for guys.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, let's go down our lists. I'll start here. So on my team, I got Chris Dougherty, Tori Meehan, Nagito Komeda, Catherine the Great, Blackbeard, Junko Enoshima, Haijing, Victoria Baman, Draken Ryuguchi, Anne Boleyn, Finnick O'Dare, and Amanda Young.
All right. For me, I have Songwoo, JD, Tommy Sheehan, Newman, Omar Zahir, Boston Rob, Toshiko, Amanda Waller, Comey, Lydia Meredith, Drea Wheeler, and Marge Simpson.
Awesome. Okay. Well, I guess that's going to do it here for this episode. I'm going to go off now and make this Brant Steel, and we're going to then record it right after this. But you guys at home won't see this until this Brant Steel until like the next day. So
yeah. Exactly. So okay. So that gives you like at least 24 hours, clear your schedule, cancel your date.
Exactly.
Cancel, don't do your taxes that day, anything like that. Or like if your tax person is good at, or like if your tax person also loves Survivor, show them this video while they do that.
Yeah, exactly. Make some popcorn, get some snacks, it's going to be a long one.
It's going to be long. All right. Okay. See you then.
See you in the next one.